Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Battle Through the Heavens episode number 219 based on novel. So let's start. The so-called Demon Phoenix steps is only this great. The golden light figures that spread across the sky quickly disappeared from Xiao Yang's dark black eyes. They agglomerated into a figure that appeared on his left. A cold smile flashed across his heart. His body completely ignored the fist winds around him. The clan tattoo quickly surfaced on his brow. His aura suddenly soared at this moment. It rose to the intermediate level of the 5th star of the Doshan class. Xiao Yang's fingers were curled as his aura soared. The pink flame rapidly gathered at the tip of his finger. Finally, it turned into a half-inch-long crystal-like finger. It penetrated the many human figures and ruthlessly pressed the fist behind the golden light. The golden light around Xiao Yang immediately dimmed after the pink crystal finger pressed against the fist. The densely packed golden light figures disappeared into nothing. Finally, the completely stunned Huang Tian appeared in front of Xiao Yang. He was startled to learn that Xiao Yang had actually seen through his demon phoenix steps and had found his actual body. Fire-gathering finger. This crystal attack formed from heavenly flames was something that could only be unleashed so well because of Xiao Yang's powerful spiritual strength. That beautiful glass-like crystal finger caused that majestic golden light around the fist to rapidly disappear at a shocking speed. That crystal finger seemed incomparably sharp as it tore through the do qi on Huang Tian's fist and ruthlessly pierced into his bones. Bastard! A heart-piercing pain was suddenly transmitted from Huang Tian's fist. Huang Tian's expression quickly turned dark and cold. The enormous golden light wings behind him cut through the sky like a blade and slashed at Xiao Yang with lightning-like speed. Explode! Xiao Yang's body rapidly pulled back as Huang Tian attacked. His hand seal changed and a cold smile lifted on the corner of his mouth. The pink crystal finger on Huang Tian's palm suddenly turned into a terrifying fire wave as it exploded. The pink fire wave swept across the sky. Its frightening temperature immediately vaporized any moisture of the area. Huang Tian's furious roar followed as the fire wave spread. He had suffered some damage. The sky swiftly became dim after the fire wave spread. Huang Tian's body once again appeared in front of everyone's eyes. The eyelids of many twitched upon seeing Huang Tian's current appearance. The current Huang Tian was no longer as calm as he had been earlier. Most of his clothes had been burned. His entire arm was charred black. A bloody hole seemed to go straight through his palm. No blood flowed out of this wound because even his blood vessels had been damaged by the high temperature. If Huang Tian had not reacted quickly earlier, his entire arm would likely have been crippled. How regretful. Xiao Yang, who was swiftly pulling back, regretfully shook his head upon seeing this figure. He had managed to find an opportunity due to Huang Tian's arrogance, yet he had not been able to seriously injure him. However, it would be a little troublesome if this fellow's frightening speed was completely unleashed. He does indeed have some ability as the tribal head of the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe. Even though Xiao Yang had relied on the strength of the purifying demonic lotus flame, he had only managed to make Huang Tian suffer some non-fatal damage during this battle. Compared to the chief of the Hall of Souls, Huang Tian seemed to be harder to deal with. Huang Tian's expression was extremely gloomy as he stood in the sky a short distance away. His head was lowered as he observed his own miserable appearance. A moment later, he ended up laughing from extreme anger. Good, good. You are indeed worthy of being someone who can defeat the chief of the Hall of Souls. This king has really underestimated you today. Xiao Yang's expression was calm. However, a caution rose within his heart. He could sense a vast and mighty do qi rippling within Huang Tian's body at this moment. It seemed that the tribal chief of the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe had become furious. Rumble. Dense dark clouds suddenly surged out of the sky after the vast and mighty do qi within Huang Tian's body began to boil. A thunderous roar was emitted from the dark clouds before echoing over the land. Demon Phoenix Holy Statue. Huang Tian suddenly roared at the sky as the dark clouds formed. His body swiftly began to transform. A golden light shot out and a 10,000-foot large demon phoenix appeared in this world and blotted out the sun. Wave after wave of frightening pressure spread in an overwhelming manner, causing many surrounding experts to feel terrified. This Huang Tian had actually returned into his original form. He has actually pushed Huang Tian to such an extent. Yao Ming's eyes were a little startled after he saw this transformation. His expression quickly became grave. After transforming into his actual form, Huang Tian's strength would raise at least 3 levels. Xiao Yang's situation was not looking good. Xiao Yang's expression gradually became grave after seeing the enormous creature in the sky. The wings of the Heaven Demon Phoenix were like metal. The actual form of Huang Tian could remain perfectly fine even if he forcefully received the attack from a 3 or even 4-star Doshan. Adding to his terrifying speed, he was just like a slaughtering machine. Anything would shatter with a flap of his wings. This will be somewhat troublesome. The enormous demon phoenix that Huang Tian had transformed into gently flapped his wings. A wild wind blew over the ground. His sharp eyes stared at Xiao Yang as a ruthlessness flashed across them. He wanted to defeat Xiao Yang with his hands in the most miserable fashion. Bang! Huang Tian's 10,000-foot-large wings were suddenly flapped as this thought passed through his head. The entire sky seemed to have dimmed the moment his huge body tore through the sky at a shocking speed. Hence, a large black spatial crack ripped through the sky in a flash. A furious thunder-like explosion shook the ears of some of the nearer experts until fresh blood flowed. The towering mountain below was also forcefully blasted into ashes by this terrifying offensive airwave. This scene caused many to inhale a breath of cool air. This offensive strike did not require one to use any dose skill. The body of the current Huang Tian was a frightening dose skill. Those who touched it would die. Even an elite Do Sheng's body would be turned into a bloody mist if one were struck by it. A blurry being tore through the sky and arrived closer to those dark black eyes. Even though it was still some distance away, the terrifying wind pressure had already struck Xiao Yang's body. The chaotic flow was just like wind blades as they ruthlessly slashed at Xiao Yang's body. Mao. Xiao Yang's expression was grave. Both of his hands quickly formed some seals. A huge spiritual illusionary figure quickly appeared outside of his body. After which, an earth-shaking spiritual fluctuation furiously roared and ruthlessly collided with Huang Tian's enormous body. Huang Tian's body was indeed frighteningly strong, but Xiao Yang was not completely helpless against him. Xiao Yang's perfect heavenly state soul was the tribal chief's nemesis. Bang! Huang Tian's speed slowed after his body was being struck by the spiritual sonic wave. Some of the metallic feathers on his body were also broken. His soul emitted an intense pain as it faced this sonic wave. Bastard! Huang Tian's eyes turned blood red after being struck by the spiritual sonic wave. His eyes were vicious as he stared at Xiao Yang. He firmly endured the intense pain within his soul as he flapped his wings again and continued to ruthlessly charge at Xiao Yang. As long as he managed to strike Xiao Yang's body, Xiao Yang would definitely die. With Huang Tian risking everything, the sluggishness caused by the yellow spring divine anger immediately weakened, and he came charging over at an even fiercer speed. From the looks of it, he was clearly planning to kill Xiao Yang in a single strike. Xiao Yang's expression changed once he realized Huang Tian was going all out. He was unable to retreat at this moment. Huang Tian was faster than him, and any attempt to dodge would only lead to Huang Tian catching up with him. At that time, Xiao Yang would likely end up being seriously injured despite the strength of his physical body. A ruthless expression immediately flashed across Xiao Yang's eyes. He once again formed some seals with his hands. An illusory figure appeared again, and this time around, Xiao Yang unleashed the yellow spring divine anger 3 times. The 3 yellow spring divine angers translated into 3 spiritual sonic wave attacks. Those experts, who had originally withdrawn a great distance, were shaken until fresh blood spluttered from them. They hurriedly withdrew even further with frightened faces. Bang! The 3 huge spiritual wave attacks ruthlessly struck Huang Tian's body one after another, causing his golden feathers to blast apart. The bright golden light surrounding him quickly became a lot dimmer. Even with Huang Tian's strength, being struck by 4 yellow spring divine anger caused his soul to tremble intensely. A heart-penetrating pain spread through every part of his body. He did not even possess the strength to flap his wings. What a terrifying spiritual sonic wave! Yarrow Ming in the distance felt some lingering fear in his heart as he looked at Xiao Yang. He was at the very most only able to endure a spiritual assault at this level twice before his soul would collapse, yet Huang Tian had received 4 of them and remained alive. The strength of an advanced 5-star Do Sheng was indeed unusually terrifying. Xiao Yang, this king will withstand however many times you can unleash that attack. The piercing pain was bone deep within his soul. Huang Tian's mind had become a little blurry and crazy as he endured this great pain. Blood seemed to drip from his eyes. They ferociously looked at the weary Xiao Yang in the distance. He controlled his wings and ruthlessly flapped them. Bang! Huang Tian's huge body appeared a few thousand feet in front of Xiao Yang after he flapped his wings. A frightening air flow wildly tore at Xiao Yang's body. The churning do qi on the surface of Xiao Yang's body seemed to scatter because of the overwhelming chaotic flow. This is bad. The expression of Yarrow Ming and the rest drastically changed. Huge blood-red eyes were reflected in dark black eyes. Xiao Yang looked at Huang Tian, who would collide with him in the next instant. He did not pull back. Instead, he lifted his hand. A 6-colored brilliant fire lotus slowly appeared. An aura that could exterminate the world quietly spread. However, Xiao Yang was just about to toss this fire lotus, which was formed from 6 types of heavenly flames, when an explosion suddenly erupted from the neon serene spring below. A light pillar shot to the sky and cut through the space between Xiao Yang and Huang Tian. The light pillar radiated with 9 different colors. The enormous 9-colored light pillar pierced the sky. Its beautiful luster caused the land to appear a lot livelier. This is This sudden unexpected change caused many to feel shocked and stunned. Clearly, they did not understand where the 9-colored light pillar originated from. This kind of pressure, Yarrow Ming and the other elders from the 9 serene deep-ground python tribe stared at the light pillar with shocked and uncertain eyes. They were able to detect a pressure that originated from within both their bloodlines and souls. Bang! Huang Tian's enormous demon phoenix body was unable to stop in time. It violently collided with the light pillar in front of countless pairs of startled eyes. A loud earth-shaking sound abruptly reverberated across the sky. The sky and land seemed to tremble because of this fierce collision. Crack, crack. After Huang Tian's full-force collision, the 9-colored light pillar cracked. A huge crack line formed as though it was possible to break a light pillar. The surface of the light pillar blasted apart, and a 10,000-foot-long 9-colored snake tail suddenly erupted from the light pillar. It was swung and firmly wrapped around Huang Tian's body. The light pillar collapsed and a huge 9-colored python that was even larger than Huang Tian glaringly appeared in front of many pairs of eyes. The inhalation of cold air immediately sounded one after another as everyone looked at the huge 9-colored python, which filled the sky. Shock surged into the many pairs of eyes present. This is 7-colored heaven-swallowing python. Those elders from the 9 serene deep-ground python tribe revealed stunned eyes as they stared at the brilliant python. The large python's body radiated with 9 colors. It was colorful and extremely beautiful. Those human-sized scales contained a gorgeous luster as they covered that enormous body. The body of the snake slowly wiggled. It vaguely emitted an overwhelming feeling that seemed to be able to easily shatter a mountain range. This feeling shook one's heart. It is not a 7-colored heaven-swallowing python, it is the legendary 9-colored heaven-swallowing python. A great wave seemed to have stirred in Yarrow Ming's heart at this moment. The 9-colored heaven-swallowing python was a divine creature that seemed only exist in the ancient folktales. From a certain point of view, such an existence was even stronger than the ancestor of the snake-type magical beast, the ancient heaven python. Due to them being few in numbers, the reputation of the 9-colored heaven-swallowing python was far inferior to the ancient heaven python. However, being the tribal chief of the 9 serene deep-ground python tribe, Yarrow Ming naturally understood the strength of this 9-colored heaven-swallowing python. Even during ancient times, the 9-colored heaven-swallowing python had hardly ever appeared. Moreover, each time it did, it would stir shock within the snake tribe. Yarrow Ming had never imagined that he would actually be able to personally see this divine beast, which only existed in the legends. The current 9 serene deep-ground python tribe was the tribe with the closest bloodline to the ancient heaven python among the snake tribes, but this pride was not even worth mentioning in front of a 9-colored heaven-swallowing python because the bloodline of the 9-colored heaven-swallowing python was a little stronger than the ancient heaven python from a certain point of view. The pressure from his bloodline originated from this. Kaylin actually possesses such an identity. No wonder Xiao Yang allowed her to train in the 9 serene spring. At this moment, Yarrow Ming finally understood why Xiao Yang had allowed Kaylin to train inside the spring, which even he could not stay in for long. A 9-colored heaven-swallowing python? How is this possible? How can there be any 9-colored heaven-swallowing python remaining on the continent? Huang Tian's huge body was firmly restrained. He looked at the 9-colored python in front of him, which was staring at him with icy-cold snake eyes and extending its snake tongue. A shocked expression surged within his eyes as he involuntarily cried out in disbelief. The huge python in front of him was an existence comparable to the heaven phoenix. Why did it still exist in this world? The snake eyes of the huge 9-colored python remained icy even as Huang Tian roared in disbelief. The huge snake tail that had been firmly wrapped around his body gradually constricted tighter. That terrifying squeezing force broke the metallic feathers on Huang Tian's body. The bones in his body continuously emitted a strange creaking sound. Even the space itself had become a little distorted. Damn it! A shock and fury flashed through Huang Tian's huge eyes as he sensed the powerful pressure that contorted his body. He let out a sharp cry toward the sky as a bright golden light shot out of his body in all directions. Under the golden light, the feathers on Huang Tian's body suddenly stood up. They were like sharp blades as they wildly hacked at the huge 9-colored python's body. Sparks started to rain down like a firestorm. The eyes of the 9-colored huge python gained a colder glint as Huang Tian struggled to retaliate. He saw the snake head sway and dozens of 7-colored snake scales suddenly fell. These scales shook and changed into dozens of enormous 7-colored heaven-swallowing pythons in front of many shocked eyes. After which, the snake tails entangled with each other like a snake web. Finally, dozens of 7-colored heaven-swallowing python cried out toward the sky. The snake web subsequently shrunk at a speed visible to the naked eye. Bang! The rate at which the snake net shrunk was frightening. A squeezing force, which could not be described, was formed by the net made out of snakes. Even space itself collapsed. Huang Tian was at the middle of the frightening squeezing force. He involuntarily felt some panic and fear despite his strength. Even he would likely be seriously injured if he were struck by that net. A desire to withdraw immediately rose in his heart. His enormous body strangely shook as he forcefully freed himself slightly from the nine-colored heaven-swallowing python. Soon after, his huge body quickly shrank and transformed into a human figure in front of many pairs of eyes. The wings on Huang Tian's back were flapped after he returned to his human form. Wind blew and thunder reverberated as his body penetrated space and hurriedly rushed out of the snake web. Bang! Huang Tian was extremely fast and ferocious. Both of his wings were flapped and he narrowly fled through a gap in the snake net. Just as he thought that he had escaped, an enormous shadow suddenly descended from the sky. A bright and colorful snake tail ruthlessly smashed into his body. The powerful air explosion smashed into the ground 100,000 feet below, forming a 10,000-foot wide pit. Huang Tian immediately spat out a mouthful of fresh blood after being firmly struck by this snake tail. The frightening strength shook him until his internal organs shifted. His body was just like a cannonball as it flew away. Finally, he violently shattered a mountain in front of many stunned eyes. After which, he rubbed across the ground and formed a 10,000-foot deep gully before he came to a slow halt. Many pairs of eyes looked at the gully, which stretched into the horizon. Their throat involuntarily quivered. Their eyes had gained an additional fear when they looked at the nine-colored heaven-swallowing python in the sky again. Even an ordinary elite Do Sheng would likely be turned into a bloody fog from this tail strike. The bodies of those experts from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe stiffened at this moment. Their expressions were stunned. None of them dared to move forward to rescue Huang Tian because of the incomparably intense pressure radiating from the sky. While the entire sky seemed to have fallen into silence, the enormous nine-colored heaven-swallowing python in the sky slowly began to curl up its huge body. Then, a colorful and brilliant luster surged from its body before the heaven-swallowing python's large body began to shrink. Finally, it turned into a beautiful figure with enchanting curves in front of many startled eyes. The luster in the sky gradually scattered. That enchanting figure appeared in the eyes of many figure. Cold, enchanting, and capable of bringing disaster to a country. The hearts of many pounded at a faster rate once they saw this bewitching appearance mixed with an iciness. Such a person could be described as the ultimate temptation. The bewitching figure revealed herself in the sky. Her hand pointed at the dozens of seven-colored heaven-swallowing python in the sky and beckoned. The snakes whistled down before turning into many seven-colored lights that rushed into her body. Those are actually spiritual bodies of seven-colored heaven-swallowing pythons. Only after she began collecting those seven-colored heaven-swallowing python did Yaroming and the others shockingly discover that these heaven-swallowing pythons were not made of energy. Instead, they were true heaven-swallowing python souls. Dozens of seven-colored heaven-swallowing python souls. Even Yaroming's had become a little giddy after realizing what they were. The remaining elders from the 9 serene deep-ground python tribe all revealed dull gazes, appearing just like fools. How could so many of these extremely rare seven-colored heaven-swallowing pythons appear at once? The beauty in the sky completely ignored their shock. Her eyes, which contained a lazy iciness, slowly swept her surroundings, as though she was a queen inspecting her subjects, appearing cold and mighty, but anyone who made contact with this pair of eyes, which contained a trace of laziness, would feel their hearts beat harder. Some of those mentally weak individuals revealed bright red faces as the do-chi within their bodies became chaotic. The demonic beauty's eyes merely swept briefly over the area below. They shifted away without pausing. After which, she turned her head slightly and looked at an area a short distance behind her. A black-clothed young man was standing in the air. His face contained some gentle smile. A pair of dark black eyes were filled with joy. Her eyes paused on that young figure as the mouth on her bewitching face slowly lifted into an arc. She was like a blooming peony that was filled with great allure. Her beauty was soul-stirring. Xiao Yang's was a little absent-minded after seeing Kaylin's dazzling smile. He immediately swung his head and recovered. He softly laughed. "Have you completed your retreat?" "Aye." Kaylin smiled. Her narrow pretty eyes slowly swept over Xiao Yang. Her narrow, crescent-like eyebrows were lifted. She asked, "Has your strength grown significantly again?" "I cannot compare with you." Xiao Yang spread his hands. His eyes were a little helpless as he looked at Kaylin. From the way Kaylin had appeared, it was obvious that her strength had soared to a relatively powerful level during this retreat. This had left him a little speechless. He had also headed to the bottom of the spring, but he had not found anything unusual about it. After Kaylin had entered this so-called ordinary spring, she had ended up gaining a lot. This blessing really caused one to feel envious. "Is that so?" Kaylin shifted her feet. She carried a tempting fragrance as she approached Xiao Yang. Her pretty eyes slightly flickered. Her long delicate finger suddenly pressed toward Xiao Yang with lightning-like speed. A 9-colored luster was vaguely present on the tip of her finger while a mysterious energy quietly spread from it. Xiao Yang involuntarily shook his head upon seeing her test his strength. A pink flame rose in front of him and Kaylin's finger dangerously paused outside of the flame. She glanced at Xiao Yang and said in a regretful voice, "I thought that I would have surpassed you after exiting my retreat." Even now, Kaylin deeply remembered the feeling of being far stronger than Xiao Yang back then. However, her somewhat strong self was a little depressed that something like being stronger than Xiao Yang would likely never appear again. Xiao Yang was helpless. Kaylin seemed to have once again become that Queen Medusa of the past, who was difficult to tame, after exiting this retreat. She was cold and enchanting. Additionally, she also possessed an even greater confidence. "Alright, stop messing around. What level is your strength now?" Xiao Yang bitterly laughed in his heart. He quickly became serious and asked after discovering that his spiritual perception was unable to detect Kaylin's actual strength. Not because she had surpassed him, rather it was due to Kaylin's aura being overly mysterious. It was impossible for him to gauge it. It should be around that of a 4-star Do Sheng. Kaylin also smiled and replied honestly after seeing Xiao Yang become serious. Regardless of how powerful she was and how strong she acted in public, she still displayed a rare warmth and obedience in front of her man. That attack from earlier does not seem like something a 4-star Do Sheng can use. Xiao Yang slightly lifted an eyebrow. That shrinking snake net Kaylin had unleashed earlier caused even someone as powerful as Huang Tian to have no choice but to temporarily take shelter. A mere 4-star Do Sheng was unable to do that. "I borrowed an external strength." Kaylin naturally did not hide anything from Xiao Yang. She took a step forward and became closer to Xiao Yang. After which, she lifted her hand. Her sleeve fell and revealed her jade-like wrist. There were many 7-colored snake symbols extending from her wrist up her arm. Only some snake symbols were present outside. They contained an unusual charm that tempted one into trying to probe deeper. A strange expression flashed across Xiao Yang's eyes as he studied her arm. His large hand grabbed Kaylin's seemingly boneless wrist in front of many envious and fiery hot eyes. His finger gently rubbed the many 7-colored snake symbols. A grave and shocked expression surged into his eyes a moment later because he discovered that these snake symbols actually possessed their own life force. In other words, these snake symbols were not energy bodies. They were genuine 7-colored heaven-swallowing pythons. The bottom of the 9 serene spring hides the lair of a tribe of 7-colored heaven-swallowing python. I have obtained the inheritance of their ancestors. There are some ancestors among them with part of their souls still present despite their damaged physical bodies. I have awakened them, and they have attached to my body. I was only able to fight Huang Tian by borrowing their strength. Otherwise, if I merely relied on myself, it is likely that I would not have been able to defeat Huang Tian. Kaylin softly explained. So this is the reason. Xiao Yang only came to a sudden understanding in his heart after hearing Kaylin's brief explanation. Who would have imagined that the bottom of the 9 serene spring actually hide the remains of a lair belonging to the 7-colored heaven-swallowing python tribe? It was truly a lucky encounter for Kaylin. This world was filled with all sorts of mysterious encounters. The reason he was able to obtain the purifying demonic lotus flame could be considered his own mysterious encounter. Will there be any problems? Xiao Yang's finger gently pressed down on a snake symbol on Kaylin's arm as he inquired. Although these ancestors possess some soul fragments, they are not complete souls. From a certain point of view, they can all be controlled by me. Kaylin's expression was a little dispirited as she replied. Xiao Yang relaxed only after hearing this. He comforted, "It's fine. If we have the opportunity in the future, we can try and see if we can repair their souls. However, the most important thing now is to resolve the trouble in front of us." Xiao Yang's eyes shifted to the mountain ruins as he spoke. A miserable figure had struggled into the air from that spot. That figure was Huang Tian, who had suffered a heavy blow from Kaylin. Kaylin by the side also slightly nodded. Her pretty eyes shifted to Huang Tian. The warm smile on her face had been wiped away. Her eyes had gained a cold glint as murderous intent surged within them. Huang Tian coughed intensely in front of the countless pairs of eyes. He wiped off the trace of blood from the corner of his mouth. His eyes glanced at Xiao Yang and Cai Lin in the distance in a sinister manner. Panic flashed across his heart. He was still unafraid if Xiao Yang was alone, but another had appeared, who could seriously injure him. Even Huang Tian would feel a great pressure if these two cooperated. Had I known that Xiao Yang's woman was a 9-colored heaven-swallowing python, I would not have intervened, damn it. Huang Tian's eyes flickered. His heart felt regretful. Originally, he thought that this matter would not be troublesome. Who would have expected such an expected change to suddenly occur? The entire sky was quiet while Huang Tian was silent. Those experts from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe exchanged glances with each other. None of them dared to speak. Even the almighty Huang Tian in their eyes had been beaten into such a miserable state. Their pride from earlier had already been scattered by Xiao Yang and Kaylin's ferociousness. "Ha, Chief Huang Tian, are you planning to continue on trying to capture your target?" Xiao Yang glanced at Huang Tian, who had become quiet. Finally, he opened his mouth and broke the silence. Huang Tian's face twitched upon hearing this question. His expression was volatile as it continued to rapidly change. Finally, he said in a hoarse voice, "Xiao Yang, this king has lost this time around." An uproar was immediately stirred after Huang Tian's words escaped his mouth. No one had expected the tribal chief of the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe, who was renowned within the Beast region, to actually admit defeat. "You don't really think that this matter can be put to rest just by admitting defeat, do you?" Xiao Yang's voice contained some ridicule. However, both of his eyes contained a chill. If he had come a little later today, something might have gone wrong with Kaylin's training. How would he face Xiao Xiao if anything happened? "Shall we kill him?" Kaylin by the side inquired in a faint voice. A murderous intent was revealed in her tone. Huang Tian's expression was a little ugly after seeing that Xiao Yang did not stop coming after him. He coldly said, "Saying that I admit defeat does not mean that I am afraid of you. If we were to really engage in an all-out fight, I would still be able to pull one of you into death's embrace even if I cannot win." Xiao Yang shifted his eyes. The chill in his eyes did not diminish while a nine-colored luster surged onto the surface of Kaylin's body by the side. Yarrow Ming in the distance widened his mouth upon seeing them prepare. However, he eventually stopped himself from speaking. From his point of view, it would not be beneficial if Xiao Yang really killed Huang Tian. At that time, the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe would definitely seek a crazy vengeance. Faced with one of the three great tribes, the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe, even the Sky Mansion Alliance would end up with a great headache. If the Hall of Souls were to quietly intervene, it might end up causing a great disaster for the Sky Mansion Alliance, which could destroy it for good. Huang Tian's expression was a little gloomy, but his heart felt bitter. Given his current condition, he would most likely end up dead if he were to deal with Xiao Yang and Kaylin together. "Xiao Yang, this king will inform you of some news. Perhaps you will no longer be interested in remaining here after hearing it." Huang Tian's eyes flashed. He violently clenched his teeth as he spoke in a deep voice. "Oh, why don't you tell me and we'll see?" Xiao Yang lifted his brows and replied with a calm expression. "Aren't you wondering why this king has chosen to launch a campaign and attract you over from the Central Plains now instead of earlier or later?" Xiao Yang's expression slightly sank. His eyes locked onto Huang Tian as he demanded, "Why?" Huang Tian smiled upon seeing Xiao Yang's reaction. He suddenly asked, "It seems that your relationship with the new Dragon Emperor of the ancient Void Dragon tribe is quite good, right?" Xiao Yang's expression gradually became ugly. His heart began to feel an unease. His tone was dense as he said, "Do not try my limited patience. If I was you, I would immediately hurry to the empty realm now. Otherwise, I'm afraid that you will only be able to go and collect the corpse of the new Dragon Emperor." Huang Tian laughed. "That young thing really doesn't know her limits. Does she really think that it is so easy to unite the ancient Void Dragon tribe?" Xiao Yang's expression became completely gloomy. He suddenly lifted his palm. The dragon seal present on his palm had actually gradually dimmed at this moment. His limbs immediately became ice cold. "Let's go." Xiao Yang struck his palm forward without explaining anything. He tore through empty space. Without saying anything more, he moved his body and swiftly entered. Kaylin behind him frowned slightly before she hurriedly followed. "Huang Tian, I will remember this matter today. If anything happens to Zi Yang, I will get your entire Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe to repay with your lives." A cold smile had just appeared on Huang Tian's face as he watched Xiao Yang and Cai Lin hurriedly leaving when the dense voice that was emitted from the spatial crack froze his smile. Yarrow Ming's group watched Xiao Yang and Kaylin suddenly disappear through torn space from the underground network. Their faces were all stunned. They did not understand why the two of them would leave in such a hurry. The empty realm is the territory of the ancient Void Dragon tribe. From Brother Xiao Yang's anxiousness, can it be that some trouble has once again appeared with the ancient dragon tribe? Yarrow Ming was not a fool. He made a guess after thinking about it. However, he currently had a mess to deal with and was unable to leave. All he could do was pray that Xiao Yang and Kaylin would be able to resolve the trouble this time around with their strength. The both of you will fight until you end up seriously injured, which will end up benefiting my Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe in the future." Huang Tian in the sky looked at the spot where Xiao Yang and Kaylin had disappeared. He coldly laughed in his heart. He quickly ceased remaining any longer. With a cold cry, he turned around and rushed into the distance. The other experts from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe hurriedly followed upon seeing him leave. They appeared a little dispirited. All of them were clearly aware that if Xiao Yang and Kaylin had not suddenly left, it would likely not have been easy for them to withdraw without suffering any losses. The 9 serene deep-ground Python tribe did not stop the Heaven Demon Phoenix from withdrawing. They began to tidy up the mess of the battle while sighing in relief. The chaotic spatial flow within the empty realm was just like the large mouths of demons hidden in the darkness. They quietly appeared and forcefully shattered all the things they touched. 2 bright lights flashed by with great speed within the extremely quiet emptiness. The wild and violent airflow that the light stirred caused the interior of the empty realm to continuously rumble. Xiao Yang's expression was gloomy as he unleashed his speed to the limit. Ever since they had defeated the 3 great dragon kings the last time around, the situation of the ancient Void Dragon clan favored the Eastern Dragon Island. It had not been impossible for them to complete the unification. Of course, the 3 great dragon kings, who had fled, might pose an obstruction to the tribe, but they were clearly unable to cause much trouble with their strengths. This line of reasoning had always been present within Xiao Yang's heart. However, the situation that had occurred today made him realize that he had underestimated the complexity of the matter. The dragon's seal is becoming weaker. Ziyang seems to be in an extremely dire situation. Damn it, just what has happened to the ancient Void Dragon tribe? The direction the dragon seal is indicating is not the Eastern Dragon Island. It seems that Ziyang is not on the Eastern Dragon Island. Xiao Yang tightly clenched his fist. He quickly suppressed the fury in his heart. The green-red bone wings on his back were flapped. His speed was increased once again as he wildly rushed in the direction indicated by the dragon seal. Kaylin could only helplessly shake her head after seeing Xiao Yang speed off from behind. She did not say anything as she hurriedly followed. A blood light surged from a certain spot in the empty realm. The scent of blood could be clearly sniffed even 10,000 feet away. The source of the blood light was a large island floating in the empty realm. The island was filled with a scarlet color, as though the island had been dyed in blood, giving it a sinister appearance. Many figures were clustered together in the distant sky of the huge island, encircling this island and allowing nothing to pass. These people reveal frightened and gloomy expressions. A fury surged within their eyes as they looked at the Dragon Island. Dragon transforming demon formation. This bastard Northern Dragon King. The dragon transforming demon formation is a forbidden technique of our ancient dragon which had been destroyed thousands of years ago. How is it possible for him to use it? A white-haired elder in the sky above the island angrily roared. Those elders from the Eastern Dragon Island by the side became quiet after hearing this. They had only heard rumors about this forbidden technique. The person who had managed this secret technique of the ancient dragon tribe was the Northern Dragon King's great-grandfather. The dragon transforming demon formation was also destroyed by him. However, no one can be certain if he had privately kept it. Elder Zhu Li hesitated and replied. The dragon transforming demon formation was a forbidden technique of the ancient Void Dragon tribe. This formation was created by an extraordinarily powerful expert from the tribe back then. Once this formation was formed, everyone inside, other than the person at the center of the formation, would be shattered into pools of blood. Finally, they would be devoured and absorbed by the center of the formation. Thus, the strength of that person would soar greatly, but this formation was far too bloody and cruel. Hence, it was classified as a forbidden technique and subsequently destroyed. No one had expected that this Northern Dragon King knew how to use it. Moreover, the thing that caused one's scalp to turn numb was that this lunatic had actually activated the formation across the entire Northern Dragon Island. It should be known that many experts from the 3 Dragon Islands had gathered here because of their alliance. Other than a small number of experts on the island, the majority had been turned into pools of blood and devoured by the Northern Dragon King at the center of the formation. After devouring so many tribe members, the strength of the Northern Dragon King had already reached a relatively frightening level. Ha ha, you naive and inexperienced girl, this king was originally planning on allowing you to live longer. Unexpectedly, you actually dared to lead an army and attack. It's just as well. This king has an insufficient number of sacrifices. If I devour you, my bloodline will definitely surpass all the ancestors of the ancient Void Dragon tribe. Ha ha. At that time, this king will be the strongest person in the history of the ancient Void Dragon tribe. The dense blood light contained a bloody scent as it surrounded the huge island. While Zhu Li and the rest did not dare step forward, that bloody light suddenly emitted a crazy laughter. A frightening energy ripple swept apart. The 2 human figures in an intense battle scattered the blood fog and appeared in front of many pairs of eyes. One of the 2 figures was Ziyang, but was not in a good state. Her face was pale and her aura was a little weary. The liquid-like dragon-slaying sword in her hand had once again been summoned, but the dragon-slaying sword did not appear to be as powerful as last time. A half-human-like figure was present in front of Ziyang. His body was extremely strong. The muscles all over his body appeared as though they were alive as they continued to wiggle across his skin. Waves of blood flowed out of his pores while the flesh on his body wiggled. This caused him to appear like a blood person that looked ferocious and terrifying. There was a strangely large head on the blood person's shoulders. 3 faces were present on this head. Those 3 faces were the Western Dragon King, the Southern Dragon King, and the Northern Dragon King. 3 faces on a single head made one's stomach to churn. Those monster-like 3 faces parted their mouths. Blood continuously flowed out of the corner of their mouths. Those 6 scarlet eyes were filled with a wild beast-like violence. Additionally, the hand of the monster held a huge sword formed by golden liquid. However, the golden color was mixed with a dense blood color. Waves of metallic sounds erupted when it collided with the dragon-slaying sword in Zi Yang's hand, but the monster did not fall into a disadvantage. Instead, the occasional stench forced Zi Yang into a dangerous situation. Northern Dragon King, you bastard. The Western and Southern Dragon Kings are your allies, yet you did not even let them off. You actually devoured their physical bodies and souls and have become such a monster. Zi Yang's eyes contained a flame as they stared at the monster. Blood shoot from its body as she furiously cursed the Northern Dragon King. TSK, those two pieces of trash had been seriously injured by you. They would have difficulty becoming great even if they fully recovered. It is better if they help me. Although I have eaten their flesh, this king has promised to help take revenge. The face of the Northern Dragon King on the monster's head strangely laughed. The huge sword in his hand furiously hacked at Zi Yang with lightning-like speed. The frightening wind forced Zi Yang to pull back in defeat. After swallowing the Western and Southern Dragon King, he had relied on the transforming dragon demon formation to absorb many experts on the island. The strength of the Northern Dragon King had already far surpassed Zi Yang. If he was not a little afraid of the genuine dragon-slaying sword, Zi Yang would have already died by the Northern Dragon King's hands. Zi Yang clenched her silver teeth as she faced the crazy attack of the Northern Dragon King. She firmly endured. Due to the transforming dragon demon formation, the experts from the Eastern Dragon Island did not dare to step inside. Otherwise, they would turn into a pool of blood if they entered and end up continuously strengthening the Northern Dragon King. Northern Dragon King, sooner or later your reasoning will be eroded by the bloodlust and you will become a wild beast which only knows how to kill. It's fine if I become a wild beast. The ancient Void Dragon tribe can only be reunified by this king. The Dragon Emperor can only be me. The strange laughter of the Northern Dragon King suddenly halted. His palm suddenly grabbed at the ground below him. The three ancient dragon tribe members on the ground with miserable expression were grabbed and lifted across space. After which, they were treated as weapons as they were ruthlessly thrown at Zi Yang. Dragon Emperor, aren't you planning on rescuing people? TSK, this king shall let you rescue your fill. Zi Yang clenched her silver teeth. She glanced at the people wrapped in the bloodlight as they were thrown over. She quickly flew up and her hand slammed into the trio with lightning-like speed. A golden light surged and the strange bloodlight scattered. Subsequently, a wave of hidden force delivered the three of them out of the transforming dragon demon formation. What a good dragon emperor. Even this king is a little unwilling. Zi Yang had just delivered the three of them away when the blood glow flashed. The Northern Dragon King appeared in front of her in a ghost-like fashion. A savage expression surged onto his dense face. His large hands, which were covered in blood, were smashed towards Zi Yang's shoulder with lightning-like speed. A terrifying force surged into her body from her shoulder. The bloody vapor, which was filled with a rotting stench, immediately caused an intense pain throb from Zi Yang's body. A mouthful of fresh blood was spat out as her delicate figure flew backwards in front of many anxious eyes. Everything is over. The ancient Void Dragon tribe belongs to me. The Northern Dragon King revealed a mad expression when he saw Zi Yang's aura become completely sluggish. He let out a ferocious laugh as he strode forward. After which, he appeared in front of Zi Yang. His large hand subsequently grabbed her head. The experts from the Eastern Dragon Island outside the blood formation were extremely shocked after seeing Zi Yang be picked up by her head. Their eyes reddened. The Northern Dragon King let out a strange laugh. However, the speed of his hand was not reduced. A pink flame suddenly rose from Zi Yang's head just as his hand was about to land on her head. The terrifyingly high temperature caused the hand of the Northern Dragon King to halt. It froze in the air as his expression slowly turned gloomy. He slowly lifted his head and stared at the empty realm in front of him. His dense voice reverberated into the empty realm. Xiao Yang, show yourself. This video will end here.